Hey guys, Carl here, Cultivate with Carl, and it is the 24th of September, and I'm inside my house because it's dark outside, and I can't work in the garden in the dark. So, I wish I could say the same for the caterpillars and bugs that are eating the crap out of my garden, however, um, you know, I'll deal with them tomorrow. But the reason why I'm adding this to the video that I'm showing you right now is the video I'm about to show you, or you're about to watch, was taken on the 14th of September, like 10 days ago. And it has been crazy busy here, so I haven't been able to post an update. I've done very little posting to my Instagram also. Unfortunately, this is a very busy time for me this year. However, today is Saturday. It's the 24th. I have this video I'm about to publish. Then I have another video in the can being produced. And I have a video that I'm going to shoot tomorrow on the 25th, which is going to be the bi-weekly garden update. So I'm working on I bought a new computer and I'm trying to learn that computer. And I am also trying to learn the software that comes with the computer. This is the basic Microsoft Movie Maker now, and it's a lot more intuitive. And I don't know if I want to buy the upgrade to it or if I want to go ahead and just get Premiere Pro. This thing is called Clipchamp Video Editor. And so far, it does pretty good. It's got a lot of stuff on it. However, I need to try it out a little bit more and practice. So, there's going to be some disruptions in my video processing or my release schedule. Next month, October, is a crazy month for us in Mississippi, in Biloxi, because we have the largest car show in America come to town, and I will be working that entire show. So, if you're into classic cars, come on down to Biloxi, see Cruising the Coast. But if you're into Cultivate with Carl videos, you're probably going to have to wait until mid to late October for your next set of videos after these three. So there you go. All right, without further ado, here's your update from the 14th of September. And let's see what we got going on. Like always, click that like button, hit subscribe. Lots going on. Love you guys. Can't wait to hear from you. Hey guys, Carl here, Cultivate with Carl, and it is time for your bi-weekly garden update. Today we're going to take a look around the garden and see what's going on. Spring has sprung and things are feeling a lot better. I bet right now it's probably about only 85 degrees or so. The sun is out, the skies are blue, and the wind is blowing directly from the north. So here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, this starts our milder period of fall-like conditions. We truly won't go into low temperatures for another few months. But the better part of that is the fact that that means more growing season for us. So 9A is one of those kind of tropical zones right here on the Gulf Coast. Like I said, I can see the beach. It's about 2 blocks from my house. So we get a lot of heat, a lot of humidity. And I can tell you for a fact that that has affected some of the plants that I've put in the ground in the last couple weeks. So we haven't seen a lot of growth. We haven't seen a lot of germination. And I'm going to have to go back and redo some of these because right after I planted some of the things in the garden this time, we ended up with a mini heat wave, and we were scorching temperatures in the 90s, but the heat index and the humidity, we were well into, the triple digits. So some things have thrived and taken off, some things have not. So we're going to look at what we've got going on in the garden today, make some decisions. I've already actually planted some new plants to kind of be a buffer against the weather. So if this warm weather continues, in fact, what will happen is I will have to replant later into September so that I could actually get some cool season crops. Now, this is September 14th, and it's the day after my birthday, by the way. Woo, 55. Good Lord, I'm getting old. Anyway, so oh man, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so this is September 14th, and we are starting to cool off already. Some years we don't cool off until October. So I'm wondering if getting some nice mild weather now isn't foretelling of a harsher winter than usual. Or are we just getting lucky with some mild weather in a nice September day? Only time will tell. But what that means for us in the garden, that we've got to change from our warm season crops to our cool season crops, and we got to get those guys started, because come October, if it does get colder, then lo and behold, we're going to be out of things like tomatoes, probably the cucumbers, and we're going to be into things like broccolis and cauliflowers. So let's go take a look at what we've got going on in the garden, and we'll have a comeback and we'll discuss our plan after we see what's going on in the garden. All right, guys, check this bed out. This is our black-eyed pea cover crop. And if you remember from my last video, what I did was we had filled this bed up with a lot of horse manure and a lot of soil, brand new bed. And we decided at this point we were just going to plant a cover crop. So I got the store-bought black-eyed peas, and this is what we have after like 2 weeks. Because if you remember in my last video, these things were very small. This is like 2 weeks of growth. There are a lot of nutrients in there that have to be, that these plants are going to use, but we got to have that horse manure breakdown because it's a little hot. Obviously, these guys like it, and that's fine. I'm not concerned about getting a harvest off these, even though for sure we will get some pea hulls come off. We'll take them, dry them out, and maybe use them for the cover crop next year. Who knows? If we get enough, we might make a pot of black-eyed peas. But this was not even a tenth of a bag of store-bought black-eyed peas. Put them in the ground, and they will generate some pea plants for us. So I'm pretty happy about this. The marigolds are hanging in there. We're still going to do that. We'll still do that video about how to harvest the marigold seeds, because I've been doing that. And I found, even though marigold seeds are cheap, it's better than, it's free is better than cheap, right? So I can have all the marigolds I want next year if I just do a little seed harvesting this year. Let's get over here to the potato bed. We got a big different story over there in the potato bed. Okay, guys, here we go, the potato bed. So at this point, I am not happy with the potato bed, and I believe I know why. This has been a definite weather factor here. When we planted the first potatoes, they were the seedlings from last year's harvest, and they were sprouting already. So it was good to go, and we were kind of expecting to have a bed full of these by now. Well, we got a lot of torrential rain, and when I mean torrential rain, it was like a couple days of just like, the city flooded, and we had a lot of flash flooding. And of course we have good drainage here, so it all drained off. But the net effect on the potatoes was that it wiped them out. So I came back and replanted, and then it rained again. So what goes on in your potato bed, and I'll try and see if I can dig one out here. The soil here is wet, and it's moist, which is okay. I mean, if I had other plants in here, they'd be loving it. But what happens with potatoes is if they stay damp, they'll rot. And here it is. That's it. That's the potato skin from the potato. It's all gone except for this, and man, do they smell. You haven't smelled the bad smell till you smell rotten potatoes. So this is the second replanting of the potatoes. I don't know if I'm going to waste the time and replant potatoes again. I would love to have some more seedling potatoes in the for the spring. I do have a few more inside, but out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of 4, I got 3 plants. 1, 2, 3, and one little one coming up right there by the water spigot. I would consider this already a complete failure. So I'm going to decide what to do on this bed here. I may go in and get the other potatoes and try them again. Just take out a row here and a row here, and then put those. Those potatoes have already chitted. They have sprouts coming off of them already. And hopefully the big rain is over. The big rain is over for a while. So we're not doing so hot on the potato bed, but it was a cause of Mother Nature. There's nothing that I really did wrong, and sometimes that's how it goes. So you have to pay attention. Not growing in the ideal conditions, because potatoes are more of a cool weather crop, but like I said, starting today, hopefully it'll start cooling off. These guys will start doing better, and we'll have some potatoes for the fall garden. There you go. All right, let's take a look over here at the next bed over and see what we got. All right, guys, here's our Godzilla broccoli. We have 1 sprout, 2 sprouts, and the third one did not come up. So that's okay. Over in our backup beds, we have some more that we're going to grow out and sprout a little bit. Get these guys. Let's see how the moisture's doing in this bed. It probably could use a little water, but underneath it is still damp. Right here we have our fallback tomatoes, which I'm getting ready to go replant into larger pots. We have the garden leader, we have the Hossinator, and then we have 2 celebrities. And we're going to go ahead and put these in bigger pots and hope that we can get some tomatoes as it cools down. I really didn't feel that I got enough tomatoes in the spring because of the heat hit so quick. And then hopefully going out, we'll hopefully get some more tomatoes. These garden leader monster tomatoes, they were wonderful. A huge plant. It was a determinate plant. Put out a bunch of tomatoes really quick, nice size, good to go. Celebrities are always a winner. And then the Hossinator, it did give us some big slicing tomatoes. However, they were knocked out by the squash bugs. And so we're going to do what we can to make sure that doesn't happen again. So right here in this bed, we have the broccoli. Over there we have cauliflower. We'll flip over and look at those in a second. Down the middle, we really don't have anything. We're waiting to see how these do. And it may be too hot for these right now. And it may be too hot for the broccolis and the cauliflowers right now. And so they may get big and then bolt. That's okay. We'll have some backups. We'll put some backups in the soil as it cools down. Let's go to the other side and check it out. Okay, as you can see here, we got the twisted cauliflower. It's coming up here and here and here. Now, these look a little stressed, and they do. They do not look like they're doing well. And the soil is not overly moist, but it could be the heat. It may be a little too early for these fellas, but that's okay. I've got some growing under the shade, and we'll replace them with that. Just like the broccoli, the third one over here did not come up. So what we'll do is we'll continue to mess around. I've never grown cauliflower before, so I don't know really what to expect, but we'll keep going. It was unusual, well, not unusual, it was really hot last week. We're getting this nice cool spell, and you know, hopefully this will bring in the cool weather so these cool crops will do better. And here comes the squirrel patrol, making all the bugs jump around. All right, let's go on to the pepper bed. Look at that dog. Okay guys, here in the pepper bed, things are going well. We're getting pepper production again. If you remember, we had a problem. All the leaves fell off the plants. The leaves started to turn yellow, then they fell off. And I think it was a combination of lack of nutrients and too much heat. So I fed the plants with some fish emulsion about 2 weeks ago, which we're going to do another round of treatment today, another round of feeding today. But immediately we got the leaves back on, and we started getting flowers for more production because we were producing pretty hard there for a while. Now, something that's happened on my jalapeno plants, if I can get this guy off here, I will come closer to the camera and show you that I've gotten some sort of bug damage. And that is maybe because I left them on the plant too long, or maybe, I don't know. It looks like some sort of bug damage. What kind of bug damage? I don't know. I can't tell you. I've looked for caterpillars and stuff in the bed. I haven't found any. When I open up the fruit, there aren't any bugs in there. So I don't know. What I will do is we're going to come back and pick all these off. I actually have a shishito that's ready to go, a whole bunch of flowers on the shishito, a whole bunch of flowers on the banana peppers. So we are going to go ahead and make sure that this bed gets fed today, watered today, and we take care of all the fruit that has bug damage. Get rid of that, and then we're going to harvest a few more of these buds off of the marigolds so we can harvest more seeds, because of the fact that if we harvest these, then we won't have to pay for more seeds next year. So we could just replant and go with the stock that we have. I like this yellow-orange combo. Looks really cool. And the bees and butterflies seem to be digging it too. So there we go. All right. Okay guys, we've had a lot of growth here on the cucumbers. If you look right here, these leaves are kind of brittle. They are a little damaged. They got bug damage. But the new leaves that have come on since the weather cooled down, it was just like turning on a light switch. As soon as the weather cooled down, the cucumbers and the beans started sending out tendrils and started climbing. So if you look toward the bottom, we have a lot of this damage here, damaged leaves, but toward the top it's all new growth and they're moving. So I'll eliminate those weeds today to keep the cucumbers growing the way that they're growing. Hopefully before it gets too cold, we'll get some cucumbers and we'll be good to go. So cucumbers in pots, good to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right guys, here these guys have started to grow. I don't know why. They hit that magic point after we had the worm damage, the caterpillar damage. We started putting tendrils up the trellis, which is great. Those are climbing type beans. These are bush type beans. So we still can see some of the damage from the caterpillars, but since I put the BT on them, the caterpillars have all gone. We're going to reapply some BT. We're going to get these guys some nutrients, and they're good to go. The sweet basil over there, we're going to start propagating that and the other one in the big bed so we can get multiple basils going, and we'll probably move them inside also. So there you go. All right guys, look at the okra. The okra's getting huge. We're starting to get lots of okras. That one's about finger long, a little bit bigger than finger long, and maybe a little bit too big for pickling. But I had come out here and picked these night before last, and then I left a couple on there just to get a little bit bigger. And so what I'm doing is I'm pickling with them. So actually I take them off when they're about a little bit bigger than this. This is probably too soon. This is probably too long. So somewhere right in between, take them off to pickle. And so we have one here. We got more flowers. And so really, these things have been doing gangbuster, because every day I come out here, I probably get 2 or 3 or 4 okra a day. And that's been since the plants have started putting on flowers. So we're talking a little over a month. And so in the freezer, I have a freezer bag full of okra that hopefully I'll be able to take out and pickle, and then have more pickled okra, because I love that stuff. So here we have the basil, which was pretty much for pest prevention. It's gone, it's bolted. There's no way that we're going to eat this, because once it bolts, it gets bitter. And so what I'm going to do for that plant right there in particular, I'm going to go ahead and cut it out, because one thing I did find about the okra, if that plant is shaded at all by another plant, it's not going to put on any kind of okra fruit. It's going to continue to produce a larger stalk to get into the open sunshine. So next year when we plant okra, I'll probably do a couple of beds, and then I will just keep the basil and my other companion plants trimmed down low to enable that sun to hit them full, so that they get up to their full height. But they've been doing really good. We're almost up to the bar with this one. Everything's been going well. I really can't complain. I'm pretty happy with the okra production. So I've seen them do this on videos. Let's try what happens if you eat one right off the plant. Oh, it was good. There you go. I probably just ate bug poop or something. Yeah, it's good to go. Tastes better pickled, but hey, okra fresh off the plant. Yeah, I like it. Let's go look at the buckets. Okay, we're dismounted from the tripod. We're going to do the flyby. So potato plant here, doing pretty well. That potato plant coming out, not doing well at all. Here's our rosemary, doing well. May get propagated. I'll walk backwards so you don't see my shadow. May go ahead and clip it and see if I can replant it and get some more. This potato plant's doing well. It looks like some bugs have been eating on it, but I really haven't seen any bugs around, so they must be coming out at night. I don't know. That celebrity tomato doing great, looking good. Here's another potato plant with some other miscellaneous plants in there. I don't know what they are. This potato plant didn't come up at all, so we're going to repurpose that pot, put some more soil in it, do something else. This tomato plant is not doing well. It's going to get replaced, as is this one. Over here we got the Dutch cabbage coming up, and it's about the same as all the other Dutch cabbage, so I imagine that's going to be pretty good. Then here we have potatoes and our bunching onions. And I'll be honest with you, I was going to pull the bunching onions out and transplant them, but the ones that I've transplanted already aren't doing that great. So I believe I'm just going to leave them where they are. And that'll be that. So I'll just keep throwing some nitrogen in there. Hopefully we'll get something out. Here, the eggplant plant is knocking it out. Look at that eggplant right there. Woo, doggy. That's a big one. We got one there. This one ended up getting some bug damage. I don't know what happened to that, but that'll go to compost. We got some new ones coming off. And we got that big hoss right there. So I'm going to be picking these here shortly. I'm going to try and grill them up. That's what I'm going to try and do. This was a carrot fail right here. The carrots failed. I don't know what happened. I kept the top moist like I was supposed to. They just did not germinate. I believe it's probably too hot. So we're going to repurpose this pot. We filled this pot and this pot. And we're going to repurpose those and put some more stuff in them. And then over here, the sweet potatoes are growing like they're supposed to. Vining out all over. They're getting some bug damage, but what we're going to do is we're going to cut a few of those off and plant them in the ground, so hopefully before the cold sets in we'll get more sweet potato plants. Now in the winter this garden does not get a lot of sunshine at all, so I hope that the sweet potatoes will keep going till the summer. And right there we have two potato plants that seem to be doing better than any of my other potato plants. So we'll see what's going on. This bed needs a little more dirt and some wood chips to cover it all off. Now if I haven't ever showed you this before, here's my rain barrel. The rain falls off the roof right there pretty consistently. And it goes right down there to the rain barrel. And so after it stops raining, I'll come put the lid on it. I have some of those little donuts that you put in there to keep the mosquitoes from breeding. And eventually what I'm going to do is set up a catchment system. You can see right there I've got a little wood rot where I'll get that wood rot replaced. I got a gutter up there, and then we'll dump that right into our rain catchment system, and then maybe even plumb it. Now, maybe we'll even plumb that to where we can have we can just pump it right out to the garden. You know, put a couple barrels on there together. Try to look down so I don't trip. But that's about it for the garden. So let's go back to the porch and sit down and let's talk about what we've learned so far about the change in season. And I can get this mosquito off my eyebrow. All right, back to the porch. Okay guys, there you go. That's the garden update. I like doing these garden updates just because I like to go back and look at the progress that we've made. Plus, I learned lessons along the way, and hopefully you're learning something from them too. The difference in we've had cooler weather now for the last 3 days, and already I've seen a difference in the plants. The cucumbers are throwing vines, the purple hull peas are throwing vines or tendrils to start climbing. They look like they're actually activated now and starting to grow, unlike it was when the heat was upon us. Now that has negatively affected some of the other plants in the garden, such as the broccoli starts and stuff like that. Plus the rain has severely impacted the potatoes like you saw. So hop down, hon. Get down there, girl. Get. All right, go, Squirrel Patrol, go. All right, Squirrel Patrol. The other bed, I didn't even show you the other big bed, and it is having the same effect. Like the onions are not doing as well, and the plants in there are not doing as well, and I believe it's totally because of the heat. And that bed does not have an automatic watering system, so that could be also the problem. when we got the rain that ruined the potatoes, then we've been now into about a week and a half of no rain at all. So it's been really humid. When you wake up in the morning, everything's damp, but it's not the same as a good rain shower. So, you know, we're going to adjust. We're going to overcome. We have a lot to do. I've got some plant starts in the starting pots, and we are going to replace the ones that have died, and we're going to move on into the cool season. I believe we'll see what happens. This cool season will be a learning experience because I've never done a fall crop before. And so I'm going to also focus on getting my other beds built and getting everything ready for the spring. So once spring comes, I'll have 2 more beds in the ground, and I may have plowed up the area just to the east of the beds here for some corn and some stuff, and then we'll see what happens after that. The compost is doing great. It shrunk over a foot. It was all heated up to about 150 degrees for over a week. And so what I have to do now is I have to uncover it, go back in, mix it up, and get the air back into it, throw a little water into it. And from that point, it should heat back up and keep on going. But I believe for the spring next year, we'll have plenty of great compost to use to top the beds off and get them ready for the grow season. So I'm pretty excited about that. But that's about it right now. That's the bi-weekly garden update. Other things are coming. You know, it's been busy. I know I keep saying I want to do other content, and I do. I finally picked up a new computer, and I'm playing with the software. As you notice that the intro has changed. I haven't decided on what software I'm going to get, but if you don't have good software, producing these videos takes a little bit longer than it would. I had an old computer that had some Sony software on it for processing videos, and I had everything pre-saved, so I could put together a video in about 15 minutes. But it's not like that with this setup. I have to go through, and it takes me sometimes, even with full editing and reshooting, I have to do a couple hours, which is not really where you want to be. I would rather get back into a program where I could have a lot of the stuff saved and set up, like all the title screens and all that. And but you know, if you're gardening, why don't you do a YouTube channel? I want to hear what you had to say. You know, if you have a garden, whether you're experienced or not, you know, get yourself your cell phone. I'm just filming on my Samsung Galaxy, S20 whatever, and I upload it to the cloud, download it to my computer, throw it through the editing software, and then I produce these videos. Pretty much you could do the same thing. So the more people out there with a message, the more people out there, maybe there's something I'm doing wrong and I can watch your video and learn how to do it better. That would be great, because there's never enough information out there. So hopefully it's good information. Hopefully I'm not putting out bad information. So here we go, sitting in the shade. You know, I should go get me a tea, be sipping my tea in the shade, enjoying my hobby. Out here with the squirrel patrol, doing our thing. Probably tomorrow I'm going to have to mow, but that's just more grass for the compost. And we'll be good to go. So here we go on my first day of my 56th voyage around the sun. You know, it's been a good run. Hopefully we'll have a whole bunch more, at least 30 more. You know, another 30 years would be a great run. Think about how many tomatoes we could grow in 30 years. So with that, like always, get yourself a hobby. Do something fun. Be with the people that you love. And signing off here, it's Carl from Cultivate with Carl. We'll catch you next time.